Deji Lamido, as you all know, is an accomplished politician and public servant who served as Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister between 1999 and 2003, and then went on to become the elected governor of Jigawa State between 2007 and 2015. He also happened to be one of the most experienced Nigerian politicians around, having served as a member of the House of Representatives in the Second Republic and the National Secretary of the Social Democratic Party during the sadly aborted Third Republic. His wealth of knowledge and experience is definitely an asset that ought to be shared with the world, and it is heartwarming that he has gone ahead to do this in his book. Serious and intentional documentation is a critical part of nation building, and every new book from a Nigerian political actor is to be welcomed, to be read, and to be debated. This is not merely the unveiling of a book, it is the celebration of a life defined by courage, consistency, commitment to democratic ideals, etc. Sule Lamido, though a staunch member of the political opposition and often a critic of the government of President Tinubu, remains one of the strong pillars of Nigeria's political evolution. His story is deeply intertwined with our nation's history, his struggles, his setbacks, and his triumphs. Politics, when practiced in the best interest of the people, is not war. It is not enmity. It is a contest of ideas. And while we may differ in our approaches or the platforms we represent, we are ultimately bound by our shared desire to see that Nigeria progresses and prospers. This is where Sule Lamido comes in handy. Let me state that as a true democrat, President Tinubu is committed to creating a political culture where respect triumphs over rancor, and where every citizen, regardless of party affiliation, has a seat at the table of national discourse. Of course, there will be those who will disagree with the content of Deji Lamido's book, but that is the nature of biographies and autobiographies. They represent a person's unique recollections and recounting of situations, but it is also a cue into the future and what they think is their own account of happenings during their time. By the author's own admission, it has not been an easy journey. This book took a better part of the last decade from start to finish. It is heartwarming that all that effort has now paid off, and there is a book to be launched, to be distributed, to be read, and to be debated. The memorable title, Being True to Myself, aptly reflects the man Sule Lamido and his reputation as a principled but blunt politician and statesman. I have to say that this is the kind of title that one will expect from a bold and irrepressible politician like Sule Lamido. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot take this stage at such a high profile and well-attended event without seizing the opportunity to highlight some of the very many accomplishments of President Tinubu, whom I am representing today. Especially considering that in about 2 weeks from now, we'll mark the 26th anniversary of Nigeria's enduring Fourth Republic, as well as the 2nd anniversary of the very consequential and impactful presidency of His Excellency Tinubu. We are commemorating 2 years of bold and ambitious reforms, projects, and initiatives, all designed to lay an enduring foundation for national prosperity. Are we saying that there are no challenges? Not at all. What we are saying is very simple, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has demonstrated an uncommon audacity and vision to set Nigeria on the path of true growth and development. After a somewhat rocky start, owing to the toughness of the inevitable reforms that he has embarked upon, we are now entering an era of intended beneficial outcomes underlined by macroeconomic stability. Have there been some pains accompanying these efforts? Of course, yes. The President himself will be the first to agree, but he remains resolute in his commitment to introducing programs and policies to alleviate these pains and make life better for all Nigerians. Take the example of the tax bills, which will hopefully be signed any moment. This is intended to grow our revenues, not just for the federal government, but also for the subnationals, while also taking care not to impose additional burden on all taxpayers. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the kind of president who pull off the seemingly impossible at all times for the benefit of all Nigerians. I will close by saying that President Tinubu welcomes constructive criticisms at all times. Of course, we have seen that come to play all the time. This is in the spirit of the freedom of speech and democratic engagement. But he will also never allow himself to be distracted from doing what is right for Nigeria. On that foundation of what is right, we will build a country that will work for everyone, regardless of age, creed, gender, religious, or political affiliation. This is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope is all about. He is a man who, like the author himself and the celebrant, always true to himself and true to the most important ideals of this great country of ours: justice, truth, peace, and shared prosperity will continue to be his watchwords. This is, of course, the message of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And on this note, I will recommend this book to students, to scholars, to journalists, and to fellow politicians who will find this instructive in many ways. I thank you for your kind attention, and I once again congratulate the irrepressible Alhaji Sule Lamido for this literary milestone. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because of lack of time, there are so many people who would have loved to present or launch the book, but only 2 people have been asked to do on behalf of all the others. Dr. Benga Hashim, a former presidential candidate, and His Excellency Dr. Peter Obi. These 2 gentlemen will be invited to all